Nice.
So, our first news is we are going to talk about the Khabib of boxing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we are going to give our post fight reaction to Arthur Beterbiev versus Yarde. And man, it was one fantastic fight. But before we begin into that, if you guys like our content, again, hit that like, comment, and subscribe. Now let me pass the mic to Isaiah. And what did you think about the Beterbiev versus Yarde fight?
Oh man, I mean, you know, Yard did actually really well, for what I was expecting because I didn't know a lot about Anthony Yard coming here. I knew a lot more about Beterbiev, but uh, like I was amazed at how slow Arthur Beterbiev's punches looked, but dude, they hit dumb hard. They looked so hard, and his combo game is so simple, but it works so well. And if you guys don't know, like the spoiler alert, the way the fight ended was it was a coach stoppage from Yard's corner. Good on the coach for seeing that he was taking way too much damage, and the way he was taking damage, it could have been devastating if it kept going. He kept landing these really nice, like almost long range right hooks, and they were landing like almost they were legal, but they were almost behind the head. But that's not on Better BF's. That's not his fault. It just so happens that Yard kept his head open in that position, and Arthur better be of would set them up really nice too. Maybe like a one or two combination each time, but the second punch would usually be like a right hook or an uppercut, or it would go from an uppercut to a right hook, or a jab to a right hook, or a left hook to a right hook. You know what I mean? Like it's very short combo, but still more than one punch, and it was enough to create like a stoppage. And uh, I mean, round eight, I didn't see that as a bad stoppage or anything. Um, he just hit him in the right spots a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
if you guys rewatch the fight, you can, if you go to Top Rank Boxing, they uploaded it a day ago, so on the 28th. And man, you just look at the right hand. He even did like at one point he did like a double like right hook combo. Just he kept it simple, um, and he hits. Oh my god, hits dumb hard. There's nothing else I can say about that. It was just a really good fight from both people. I mean, again, Yard did like an amazing job as an opponent. Beterbiev did get touched. So, what do you think about that, Mike? What do you think about the way the fight went?
I
And
think
actually, I'll go even further. How do you think about that? And how do you think he's gonna look against Bivol?
so. Before we get to the second part of that question, because there's a little spoiler, um,
Oh, okay.
but Beterbiev and Yard, man, they here's the thing about Yard. He did not come into that fight to lose. Like he fully believed in himself to make it a fight. And I appreciate fighters who come in to fight and not just like, come in to cash a check and just take an L and just lose. Right. And both guys were game, and it was a lot of high pressing boxing. Beterbiev is viewed as a brawler, but he is such an intelligent brawler because he has this really tough style, which is he pressures you. He hits you with hard jabs to get you into the corner, and then he tees off on you with like combinations. And not only that, when he does retreat back into a corner or gets his back to the ropes, he so intelligently just moves his way out of it and then turns you into the corner, and then he starts teeing off on you again. Like it is so beautiful to watch that. And even though Arthur Beterbiev was getting hit, just the look on Anthony Yarde's face, like by round 4, kind of speaks to what the fight was inevitably gonna happen. In addition, I think Anthony Yarde didn't have proper conditioning for this fight.
Mm.
He was gassed out roughly around round 4 to 5. I saw his mouth open. Again, some of his punches didn't have the impact it had in round 1 and 2. Beterbiev took advantage and started working the body in round 3, 4, 5, and 6. By 7, like Anthony Yarde was still there. He was throwing some hard punches, but it was starting to become far and few in between. He was just feinting more, trying to catch his breath. And then in round 8, he got hit with a chopping right hand that Beterbiev was setting up for a majority of the fight. Actually, he was setting that same right hand over and over again in the previous few rounds. And when it happened, you can see that punch practically ended the fight, even though Anthony Yarde, to his credit, stood up. And a lot of people on Twitter and a lot of like boxing channels were like, Anthony Yarde, like the stoppage was too early. Anthony Yarde still had fight in him, let him finish out the fight, type of thing. And my counter to those claims is, look at how his corner stopped the fight, and Anthony Yarde didn't try to, scream and try to throw his hands in the air and really show that he wanted to continue to fight. He just like nodded his head, and he's like, okay, I get it. I see what you guys are just doing. Because inevitably it was going to that. And to all the people who are asking for us to post about our predictions, I think it was pretty clear our predictions was going to be the same. So we didn't want to waste your guys' time nor ours saying the same thing, because I had Arthur Beterbiev winning in under 9 rounds for this fight, and it did. And for the second question about him and Bivol, I don't think it's going to happen next, primarily because Callum Smith is now being placed as the WBC mandatory for Arthur Beterbiev, which is something that they need to, as ESPN, promotional company and Top Rank, try to figure out how to pass Callum Smith without having to fight him, give him step aside money and then fight Dimitri Bivol, type of thing. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, how I see the Bivol versus Beterbiev fight, Bivol is going to outbox him, but the thing that will make the difference is when Bivol does take rest. He does. Let's not pretend that Bivol has like a gas tank that can go for all 12 rounds doing the thing he does. He does take a break. And when he does take that break, he does get himself stuck in the corner or stuck on the rope. And my thing is, how can Beterbiev's punches impact Dimitri Bivol? Because it seems like the way he's punching, everyone's body, face is getting mutilated by this man's punch. Like, I don't think Beterbiev is going to like completely outbox Dimitri Bivol, but I'm saying he is going to hurt him so bad that he's going to knock him out. I don't see Bivol knocking out Beterbiev. I see Bivol winning by decision, but the thing is, how will Bivol react to Beterbiev's punches? Because 19 other people have faced Beterbiev, and some of them are really tough guys, and all 19 has been knocked out. I'm just saying. That's all I'm looking at.
I think more than likely it's gonna be Bivol by points on UD. I think
like, it might be, if it's gonna be Bivol, my idea is gonna be a split decision.
Ooh.
because I don't think it's gonna be one sided. Because Beterbiev still is game. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think the way I see it going, I think Bivol is not gonna allow Beterbiev to get close enough to do damage. Like Beterbiev is a really good brawler, but he does have like to when you're like that kind of style, you're not really worried about like head movement or inch of spacing. You're just like worried about getting in range enough to land really good shots. So,
mm,
because you can tell, I mean, like if you look at the yard fight, like he didn't give an F about the about yards punches. He just kind of like ate them all with salt and pepper, and he's like, I don't like. And then right when he got like into range, boom, he just like shot Yard with like the greatest right hooks, uppercuts,
oh,
and Yard just couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? So, um,
can
that's the
Bevel
I feel
handle it
like
though? Is the
I
question.
feel like I feel like Bivol will have trouble with that, but
Mhm.
he plays this really nice game of inches. I think my coach was talking about this a while ago. I can't remember when, but Bivol has a really nice 1-2 combo that makes him play a nice game of inches. So he'll find the range,
Mhm.
and he'll find like the right spot to throw combos, and then just get like a little bit out of the way to in order to get out of Beterbiev's effective range. So I think he'll be able to keep that up enough for 12 rounds. I'm not saying he won't get clipped. He will, but I think he can make it through. Um,
That's the interesting part is like how much can Bevel keep that up? And like the thing is, for me is like when Bevel gets hit, how will he react? And that's where I'm intrigued, and that's why I'm still leaning towards Arthur Beterbiev in the fight rather than Bevel, because primarily I'm like, you're a fantastic boxer. Well, what happens the moment you feel, you know, Beterbiev's right hand? Like, are you going to be the same? Because let's just be honest, like Sugar Ray Leonard and Roberto Duran. Sugar Ray Leonard is a superior boxer. He's faster, he moves better, he has length, he has all the different attributes. But Durant made it dirty and he punched hard. He was known as the hands of stone.
yeah,
Whether or not it's going to be something similar to that, where, you know, Beterbiev's punches just freezes up Bivol's legs or head movement, we won't know until that fight happens, and that's why I want that fight next. But if
but
it
ain't gonna
does,
happen.
but if it doesn't happen, I'm just saying Beterbiev is gonna have 20 and 0, 20 knockouts. It's my opinion. Right? Even though a lot of people think that Beterbiev is overrated, and I'm like, I don't know about that. But let us know what you guys think in the comment section below about your guys' reaction to Anthony Yarde versus Arthur Beterbiev. Let us know in the comment section below.